I don't encourage my kids to marry people that come from single parent homes because they grew up in 2-parent homes. Because my wife, I know it don't sound
going into dangerous water. Going into dangerous water.
Because my wife grew up in a 2-parent household.
Yeah, it's noticing what you have. Like in your home, the 80-20 rule is you're never going to find 100% in your spouse. You're never going to find 100%. You're going to find 80% at best. But the 80-20 rule is most people, unfortunately, will leave 80% to go to 20. So like the person at the job, like somebody else on the side, because they don't have the 20. The 20 looks real attractive when you don't have it. Now, the problem is a lot of people leave that 80% only to find out she only 20%. And you get over here like, dang, I left that for this?
All right, we're back. Eric Eve, the Value Maker here with the Code Network here at Biz Boost Week 2025. This is our annual one-week series we do. Virtually is my wife and I way of giving back into our community. We pour into entrepreneurs, but not just their business. We support them in mental health, physical health, their relationships, leadership skills, communication, you name it. We cover the entire entrepreneur. So I'm sitting here today with my brothers here, two guys that have the most utmost respect for. We got Deon Hardamon to my far left. We got Carlos V. Spencer to my immediate left. 5 children, entrepreneur, 3 children now. I almost said 2, 3 children. He kind of pulled that super wide gap thing. I know a little something about that, right? What's the age gap?
17 years.
Ooh,
17 years.
I had a gap, D.
So,
my gap was like 8 years. That's a mean gap.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, you almost caught me. I got an 18-year gap. Yeah.
Jeez, I don't need to be in this conversation. No.
But today we're gonna have man talk. We're gonna talk about some things that men deal with as entrepreneurs, as husbands, former husbands, fathers. It's something to be a man in this world, right? We have to be the foundation to the home. We have to. We can be hurt, but can't show hurt typically, right? So let's dive into what like men deal with. So before we get into that, who was Deon, the motivator, and who was Carlos V. Spencer? Let's start with Deon.
Well, I am Deon, the motivator.
Yes.
Yeah, and I say that because I like to motivate people through T-shirts. So I do have a T-shirt company. That's why the name Deon the Motivator come from. But I also have a media company, Can I Be Real Productions. And I'm just a husband, a father. I like to call myself an all-around good guy. My wife said, if you got to call yourself a good guy, you're really not a good guy. But I like to call myself an all-around good guy, man. Yeah.
That's it.
I call him Los.
That's it, man. But everybody can't call me that. They be seeing this stuff, and people be calling me Los out in the streets. I'm like, man, you don't know me like that. You wasn't on the episode. Los, but I'll go by Carlos V. Spencer. Don't disrespect my name or my brand. Put the V in there. All right, you can find me on social media anywhere, Carlos V. Spencer. Speaker, entrepreneur, trainer, changing the world one stage at a time, man. I get the chance to go around the world standing on different stages and also speaking into people's lives in different stages of their lives and changing their lives, man. I'm a father. My children, I love my children. I'm a man of God. I'm a believer, man. On my tombstone, it's going to read, he lived, because people going to walk by that bad boy and be like, he sure did. All right, man. So I'm living life, man. I'm going to live it to the fullest. I'm going to stand before God, say I've used all the gifts you gave me, and I'm empty. Yeah, that's the goal.
I can tell it's going to be good, y'all. This is going to be good. I don't know where to start. I'm being honest. I prepared some notes, but I don't think I'm going to go off my notes, right? I think I'm just going to just ask some things. Me being a husband, going on 3 years, father, 18 years, entrepreneur now, 21 years.
Let's do it.
I got so many questions, right?
Yeah.
I got a lot of questions. I'm going to ask questions from a personal, like, I don't know about y'all. I'm going to ask from a personal standpoint.
Yeah. That's good.
So, been in this entrepreneur world now for 21 years, and I've been fortunate. I don't know. Actually, I don't want to say that was fortunate, but most of the time I was single, right? Of the 21, 18 years doing it single. Has entrepreneurship taught you anything? Has it enhanced you any kind of way? Let me stick to the talk. Has entrepreneurship, because you're both full-time entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Has entrepreneurship taught you anything as it pertains to marriage?
Man, for me, I think the biggest, we kind of talked about a little bit, like
We did.
the spirituality side of
Mhm.
entrepreneurship. It's like, I thought I was like a true believer, you know what I mean? When I was working and, you know, money was coming in and everything was good. Like the marriage was great, right? And it's still good now. But as an entrepreneur, it really just taught me like to really lean on God every day, every week, because it built my faith. And because it built my faith, my wife can now see me as, you know, a stronger man. Because before it's easy to say like, I got faith, I believe when that check coming in every 2 weeks, but when that check ain't coming in every
That's
2
a
weeks,
difference.
and
Do you really have faith?
do you really got faith? And I'm like, hey, I need you to pray with me because I need this deal to go through so we can pay this mortgage. And she like, oh wow, he ain't never just had to say that. It's like,
Wow.
Entrepreneurship really just brought me closer to God, which brought me closer to my wife.
Wow. Woo-wee.
Mhm.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
In that space, man, for me, so I'm married 20 plus years. I'm divorced for the past couple of years. I'll say, and Deon did allude to it, man. We were speaking of it's just a spiritual walk, man. It brings you closer to God. Steve Jobs said most people quit because they're sane, right? Not insane. Most people quit because they're sane. Because to do this is insane. Like to do this is crazy. Like I understand the more I've been in this space, I get why somebody would give up. Like I get it. Like no blame. Like I don't look at you like I don't believe you were too weak or I don't believe you couldn't say no. I get it, bro. I get it. I can stare somebody in their face, but like I understand why you didn't stay with this because it's that difficult in that same space. To your question, man, you lean on your faith. You really find out. Do I say I'm a believer or do I actually believe? Right. And now you get stretched in times to really get put to the test to say, yeah, it's easy to quote one thing, but when you're going through something, you find out if you really believe this thing. So I do believe that entrepreneurship is spiritual. While I was in my marriage, I actually worked a 9 to 5. So, and for that very reason, I worked a 9 to 5 because is that check gonna be here?
Yeah.
Right? Are you gonna pay this bill? Or are you gonna have to take care of your children? So I had to push the dreams aside because I didn't think it was fair for me to take my children and my family through that because I had a wife and I had children who were up in age, and I just didn't think it was quite fair to launch out into this entrepreneurship space where nothing's coming in.
got it. Good, man. Great answers, guys. So there are so many men out there who want to be good men, great men. They want to be great fathers, husbands, entrepreneurs. But I say this right here: entrepreneurship, it's like it's the hardest thing in the world. It's not for everybody. I don't recommend it for most people. They're like, I even question myself, if I could go back 21 years till I was 18, would I even take this path, right? So I know both of you very well. I know a lot about your personal stories, and I know you both had some tough times when it came to finances while building your business, right? As a man, you have children at home, you have a wife who's looking to you for leadership. Like those times where like the money wasn't there, it wasn't there. How did you protect your peace? If you was even able to protect your peace, how did you create peace in your home? How did you alleviate the stress from your wife and hide struggles from your children? Like, how did you just have peace in your home for yourself, if that was even possible? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes for me.
And
man,
even talk about if you don't if you comfortable, talk about actually what that looked like. If you can really, because there's some men out there, they're bleeding while leading, right? If you could actually talk about what it looked like, what you couldn't pay, how bad it was, what got taken away, right? And like, how did you create peace? Or if you did create peace, how would you have done it different? I said a lot. Did you guys? Y'all pick up what I'm putting down? All right.
Yeah.
I think for me, man, and I'm just gonna be honest, being broke made me a mean person. Like, because it's hard when your kid's saying, "Dad, I need this," and you don't have the money for it. So for me, I just came up with excuses like, "Well, I'm not buying you that because you had that piece of paper on the floor in your room." Instead of just saying, "I don't have the money."
Right.
Like it just turned me into a mean person, and I didn't like that person that I was, man. It's like I'm mad, not because like I made excuses, if that makes sense. Like I just made a lot of excuses of like why we couldn't do it instead of just saying, oh, we don't have the money. You know what I mean? Because for me, those financial struggles, I always wanted to hide that from my kids. Like my kids never seen the lights off. But guess what? Our lights have been cut off while they were at school. And it's like, well, I got to scramble to get them turned back on.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I always try to hide those financial issues from my kids. My wife, of course, she said, you know, head on. But for me, it's like, I got to figure it out though. And that's what made me get to the point to where I am today. It's like, yes, I may not have it. I may not be but I got to figure it out because I want this so bad, man. Like for me, I took the path of, I moved to Dallas. I went to college. You know, I got married. I did what everybody wanted me to do. I moved up at 29. I was number 3 in the company, superintendent at 29. The first black guy to ever do that for this company called Jones Blair here in Dallas, man. And I quit that job after working there for 2 years because I was like, this is not what I want to do. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. My wife, like, I support you, but you know what I mean? Like these checks gotta come in. But for me, it's just like I know what I want and I know where I get my fulfillment in, and that's waking up every single day doing what I want to do. And that's where I'm at now. Like if the money comes slow, if the money comes fast, I'm gonna do what I want to do. And I'm gonna make sure I do the necessary things. So for the men out there that may not be where they are, right? One day you will be where you are if you keep working towards it. But what I had to learn was, okay, I know everything is on me. I got all these bills to pay. I get money coming in this way. So I just have to learn. I had to learn how to take care of my business. And that's what it boils down to. No, I can't buy Jordans this week. No, I can't buy this week. Like you have to break away from all those like money spending habits and figure out like, okay, this is what I have to do. I got to make it happen. And you will figure it. If you want to do it bad enough, you'll figure it out and find a way, man. And for me, I just had to figure it out and find a way because that, I ain't going to say broke version of me because I don't never think I was ever broke because, you know, even when I was working, you know, I went to school. That's another thing too. I tell people like having a degree helped me because I was always able to make $80, $90, $100,000, you know, as a manager because I had a degree. So working on a job was easy for me because I was always in that leadership position. And that's what was hard for my family because it's like you making all this money,
right?
But you want to walk away and now you got to do it all on your own. So for me, it was like getting over that hurdle. But once I got over it, it's like it taught me like take care of your business at all times. Like take care of your business at all times. And for the men out there, I tell them like take care of your business because I tell my kids if you don't take care of your business gonna take care of you. And when your business take care of you, you got a problem. Yeah, you got a problem.
Wow. Strong. Oh.
Man, and especially peace, man. A man left to himself will implode or explode. Right? So a man left to himself will either implode or explode. I say that from the space of you gotta find a proper release. And sometimes that proper release is speaking to somebody. Me and my brothers, my actual blood brothers, we have a text thread. Right? We have plenty texts on different days like, yo, I'm messing this up. Like, yo, my kids asking me for all this stuff. Little do they know dad ain't even got it. So we got a space where we can actually communicate and speak to people. One of my friends says, check on your strong friend. So a lot of men have the problem of being quiet and keeping it to themselves, and you will implode. Either you're going to explode and get upset on somebody else, lose it on somebody else, unfortunately commit a crime, go behind closed doors, or you will implode on yourself. Your health will take a hit. Your mental health will take a hit. And now you keeping all this stuff in. So for the men watching out here, you got to find some type of outlet for yourself. And a lot of men don't do that either as a physical activity or actually being able to speak to somebody or actually going to therapy. I've gone to therapy many times and I've sat down. The beautiful thing I love about therapy is because I'm a great listener. So I mean, everybody want to talk to me. So nobody want to listen. So I'm a good listener. I got into a session with my therapist and he talking. I said, hold on, bro. This is my space.
Right.
Like, I'm paying you so I can talk.
Right.
This is me, doc. I get all my stuff. But it's a space where I can actually talk. A lot of men don't have that. And a lot of men who appear to have it all together are the men who are usually inside distraught and depressed. because everybody think they got it together, and then you got to hold it together for your wife, for your children, for everybody that's looking at you. So that's one. Two, TD Jake said, man, you ever see a horse on a carriage and a person on top of that carriage and you got somebody in the back?
Yeah.
He said, being a man is like that. It's the man, you got to sit and you got to drive this carriage. But then you got a family in the back. So you can't spend too much time focusing on driving the carriage because you're neglecting your family. So you got to go back and check on the family. But when I go back and check on the family, ain't nobody driving the carriage. So I'm checking on the family too long. Now the carriage is going nowhere. And I'm sitting there with notes like, okay, he about to drop it down. Like, how do I be a man? And the conclusion was, it's impossible. It's impossible to drive the carriage all the time and have the family be satisfied and then check on the family all the time and somebody drive the carriage. But one of the great results I found in that space was, he said, you find a good woman.
You getting into my next question. Hold on.
Okay.
That's tight. That's my next question. All right.
I got you.
You have more or?
No, I got more from that space, but I'll save it for the rest of the question.
Wait, okay, man. Y'all bringing the sauce, boy. I wish I could take notes, but I gotta stay locked in while I'm interviewing you guys. I'm gonna be real with y'all. My wife's probably gonna kill me. I don't know if I'm gonna take questions from the audience. I don't know. I'm supposed to take, and I'm gonna take some. I don't know. Babe, if you out there, I don't know if I'm taking questions from the audience. I got 10,000 more questions for these guys, and we literally got 33 minutes left. So here's the deal. So I started doing events November 2011. So I don't know, 13, 14 years. And the company I had at the time, I built it on 4 pillars: wealth empowerment, relationship development, mental toughness, and emotional well-being. And co-networks is a 1,000 times better version of that. But relationships, it's really big for me. Even when I was single, it was something in me that wanted to see people. Even when I was single, I wanted to see marriages win, right? And I knew one day I'll be married, right? I got questions all the time. Yo, how you ain't married yet? Mind your business, right? You was even saying earlier when we was driving here, like, man, you used to say for years. So I'm really big on relationships, like working well between the man and the women, right? So this question is twofold. You two are in 2 different situations. And y'all gave me permission before we started. I can take it there. So Los, you made it almost almost 22 years, man. Yeah. Like, why not keep going?
Yeah, right? That's a good question.
Right? 22 years, that's crazy,
and the
man.
distinction of most women leave marriages. I'll be clear. I left my marriage. And maybe you'll get into that space, but most men leave the marriage. Because I don't want to get a misconception. I mean, it happens to some people. Some people might be watching like, oh, okay, he got a divorce because something happened. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I walked away.
Okay. All right. I got questions for you both. So you almost made it to 22 years.
Yeah.
Deon, you were 18 years right now?
18 years.
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
But I know you and I, we've been brothers for years. We were just talking downstairs when we met. Right before I moved here, right? So it was, I don't know, 7, 8 years now.
Yeah.
We known each other. I know you and I had some personal conversations. I mean, a few years ago, I actually had to call Los and our brother Obi.
Yeah.
I need y'all to get on the phone with my bro Deon. It doesn't look good. This thing is about to end. So here's my question for you guys. If you can go back 18 years, and now in your case, you got to kind of save this right, because your wife is going to see this later. You go all out. I want you to be real. Can I be real?
Yeah.
Shout out to Deon Hardamon, who's the owner of Can I Be Real? We're in his production right now. I meant to say that in the beginning. Shout out to my man Deon.
Yeah.
So can I be real?
Let's be real.
So if you could go back 18 years, you will still be married to Sade. All right. If you go back 22 years, obviously you will be married to such and such. What would you look for in a spouse? Because you are powerful men. You are leaders, business owners. And not to suggest somebody who's not a business owner is not a leader, but from what I've been told, it takes strong women to elevate the man, to be a helpmate, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. What are things you will look for in a potential wife? And so in your case, what would you have looked for? Yeah. And how do I ask this question for you, Deon? Like, what are things you would have worked on with your wife earlier on, knowing what you know now? Because you went through some things and you're still here. You're going to make it past 22 and beyond. Yeah. And obviously, your stuff didn't make it to 22 years. What would you have done different? And seeking that? Because one more thing, it's so many men and part of our community that I work with, and we're just, and man, I'm watching divorce happen left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching people who I never would have thought get a divorce. What, you?
Yeah.
Right? And so let's help the brothers out there in your, because the women are taught all the time, like, this is what you want in a man, but like, what do you look for in a woman? What traits? Does she got to look a certain way, smell a certain way, drink her coffee a certain time of day, have these habits? I mean, give me everything you could possibly give me on what these fellas should look for and identify.
You mind if I jump in?
Yeah,
D?
go ahead.
So, but I will say this, man. One, I'll start off by saying divorce is not the answer. Divorce is not the answer. Now, I don't know what particular situation somebody might be in, but being on this side, I've been back to marriage sessions, and I've talked to and coached marriage groups and couples in this space of divorce. And the number one thing I always start off by saying divorce is not the answer. Like, if you think you're going to find me to say that just because I'm on this side, no, I don't think that's the answer. I made my choice, and there's some reasons for it, but I don't think it's the answer because I'm also seeing what it does to a family. So I think you should do what you need to do to fix it. I'll start off by saying that. Number one, I tell this to people all the time, marry for where you're going, not for where you are. All right. A lot of people see where they are.
Say that again.
Marry for where you're going, not for where you are. Deon Cole, I think, said on his joint, he was like, man, a lot of y'all messed up. A lot of y'all stopped where y'all should have paused. You dope, but I'll be right back. And let me go to these other levels in life. You got to find a person. And of course, you can't see the future, but to the best of your ability, try to ask yourself, and we're speaking to men specifically, is this woman the woman who's going to be able to stand with me to where I'm going in my life? Is she going to be able to build me up? Is she going to be able to sustain me? Is she going to be able to help me? Is she going to be able to be there? I can let my whole guard down. Because some men are with women who you can't even be your full self. You got to fight as this warrior in this world all day. And you got to get home and still keep on your armor. God, dog, that got to be hard. So find a woman who can handle you when your armor is down at your house. Find that type of a woman. Kevin Samuels, I know I might not be able to say it, but can I be real?
Be real.
He had a lot of good things that he said. He didn't have any tact, I will say that. A woman who's beautiful, feminine, intelligent. That's what men look for. They look for a woman who's like that. I go to this and I give it to Deon to end that session I was talking about with the carriage. What it ended with is you find you a good woman who will tell you, all right, baby, you driving too long. You need to come check on the family. Right? And that same woman is going to tell you like, all right, you've been checking on us long enough, but we all right. You need to go drive this wagon. You need to find a woman that has that good balance. And when you find that type of woman, you ain't leaving and going nowhere. I'll talk about the 80-20 rule, but we'll see if we got time for that.
We might have to cut into because the women panel is next. They may get 45 minutes. We may get an hour and 15. But can I be real?
Man,
Talk to us.
Man, look, I'd say 5'5" with brown eyes.
Talk to him, man. You know, be real.
Yeah,
be real.
But I think for me, man, I just want to say this first of all, and this is to both of y'all. I don't know but y'all guys really saved my marriage, man. Like, I was going through a time, and Eric, you know, when I went to that conference, I sat in the VIP, and I asked one question because I was going through some tough things in my marriage, man, because of some issues that I was going through, right? And I would say to the guys, before you looking for a wife, fix you first.
That's good.
Like,
That's good,
we
dude.
always talking about like how we want our wife to be, how she gotta look like this, be smart. Like, but what are you doing like for you? Are you smart if you want a smart wife?
Come on.
Are you in shape if you want a wife that's in shape? Are you know, like all those things that you want from that other person, can you provide that? And for me,
talking.
my wife had everything I wanted from her, but I didn't have the things that she wanted from me.
That's a heck of
And
an
it took
awareness.
me going through like real life situations to
Ooh-wee.
understand that, man, like for real. And I think for me, my advice to my son is like, if you want a perfect wife, make sure you're the perfect man. Make sure that you're building yourself up to be that man for her. And for me, man, like I said, I went through some tough issues to where like I almost lost it all, my wife, my kids, but knowing that I had a good woman beside me, like that's what made it for me. And what I look for now, like I tell my son, is like, look at her upbringing. Because for me, that's one of the biggest things. Like, I grew up in a single parent home, right? And I know I may get flack for this, but I don't encourage my kids to marry people that come from single parent homes because they grew up in 2-parent homes. Because my wife, I know it don't sound.
Going into dangerous water. Going into dangerous water.
Because my wife grew up in a 2-parent household.
Yeah.
And her dad like provided structure, and her mom gave her that femininity, and she presented herself as the perfect wife. But for me, I was like a wolf in sheep clothing. Like, I was just pretending to be somebody I couldn't. Like, I smoked and drink when I met my wife, and she said I would never date a guy that smoked. So what I would do is when I leave a house, I fired up, and then I'm going about my business. But overdoing that so much, I'm like, dang, I'm not even being real with myself. Like, I gotta tell. And once I presented that to her, like, look, man, I really do smoke, but I like you this much that I can't. I wanted to. And she accepted me, and she helped me like work through that. And from there, I was like, wow, like, if she would accept me for things that consider her deal breaker, then she really loved me, right? And throughout the years, she just continues to show me that love over and over and over. So for me, man, I say find you a woman that, for one, knows who she is, has a good upbringing, and know where she's going, you know. And for you as a man, you know, everything you want from that woman, be that first for yourself. Because if you get a smart woman and you're not, I ain't gonna say dumb dude, but if you not that intelligent, then you're gonna feel like, dang, man, she's talking down on me. She's doing this on me. And all she's doing is her intelligence is so high that she can see things that you can't see. But a smart man will take that and be like, oh, she sees stuff that I can't see. She see my blind spots. Let me take her advice. Mm-hmm. So for me, I had to learn how to sit back, because my wife is smarter than me. Like, when I went to college, my wife was pregnant. My wife said she was on a golf scholarship as a black woman. She said, Deon,
your wife golf?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
She said, Deon, I will stop going to school and I will make sure you get a degree, because as a man and as the head of this house, it's more important for you to have that piece of paper than me. And it paid off for us. Like I told you, at 29, I got promoted to number 3 in the company, man. So I say find a smart woman, a woman that's compassionate, and look at their background, man, because the fruit don't fall from the tree, man. So, you know, and I don't mean no offense when I say that about not dating single parents.
There's exceptions to the rule.
Well, I'll even say to that space that, because I grew up in a single family home. Yeah. So like you said that yourself as well, right?
Yes,
so you're not judging people who didn't come from a situation you didn't come from. For me, I often say too that he got to at least be in your life. Yes. Like the father got to at least be in your life. Yes. I strongly recommend my 2 daughters. My daughters are 21 and 20. Yeah. I strongly recommend you date somebody who he had a father in the home growing up. I strongly recommend that. If it is somebody who may not, if he ain't have his father in his life, I don't know if we could do that.
No, especially for the boys, because I got girls, and I know how hard it was for me growing up without a father. Right. And I admit it now as a 40-year-old man, but, you know, I carried around some of those single mother characteristics into my marriage unknowingly. Like,
you don't even know it.
Don't even know it. Like, I never had a man to say, hey, you don't argue with a female. But so I'm arguing with my wife, and she can't understand it because her dad not arguing with her mom like that. She don't see that. It. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I mean by when I say that. So like, date your kind, and whoever your kind is, that's who you need to date. That's who you need to marry. Don't go outside of your range until you build yourself up to be in that level. So if you're on level 2, don't look for a level 10. Work your way up to level 10, and you'll meet that level 10 person, and it'll be perfect. Because if you're a 2 and she a 10, or vice versa, it's gonna be some conflicts in there. And for men, our ego is so big that we can have this woman that she's beautiful and she's smart, and the moment she's, you know, step on your manhood, you got an issue, and now she's the problem, when the whole time, like, she wasn't even on your level. So for me, I love you, baby. I wasn't on her level.
You leveled up,
but I leveled up, and she made me level up. So yeah.
All right, man. I literally have like 7 more questions. I'm gonna ask 2, maybe 3. Gonna go to the audience. Mm-hmm. I've heard it. You hear in books and seminars that finance is the #1 reason for divorce. I hear finance and communication, right? So actually, now I just triggered another question. So if you can give a ratio of the importance to make a marriage work, how important is finances? How important is communication? And then this question just came out of me. That's not what I was going to ask. But the first question I was going to ask is, like, how do you effectively deal with finances with your wife? How do you deal with finances? And okay, so hopefully you guys can remember all this. And the other part of that, because we grew up in such a society, traditionally speaking, this is transparency. My goal was like, I got to be the full provider, right? And that's how it was back in the day. But we live in such, the women are more educated than us. They're smarter than us. They're making good money, right? What's your thoughts on that? How do you approach that? Like, how did you approach your marriage with how you going to deal with money? Like, was it, hey, it's 50-50, it's 80-20, I'm going to go bring in all the money? Like, how do you deal with that? And like, if you can give a ratio of how important finance and communication affects your marriage? Am I asking that you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. You getting like five? You getting like 5 questions in one? I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I hear most divorces are because of finance, right?
Yes.
I've heard that a lot, and then I hear a lot of divorces happen because like a communication factor. So
it's bad finances, bad communication, bad sex. Those are the 3 things.
those are really the
those are the 3 things.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
marriage.
Okay, yeah. So like, what's the conversation with your wife? What did you do? What would you do differently when it comes to like finances? Like, do she got to make half and you make half? It's got to be 80-10, 100-0. Like, how do you approach that conversation?
I think, and Deon, chime in with this. I think that's a new age thing. I'm older.
Okay.
So I think this 50-50, all this conversation that's clickbait, whatever, I think it's a new age thing. I definitely think, it's an old school thing where you see that man was a provider, he took care of all these things. But a lot of times, if you look at the situation, they came together and the couple worked it out. I remember having a conversation with my grandmother. My grandfather was the provider, and my grandfather left his full-time job. He became a full-time pastor. Church wasn't paying him no money, and this was after my grandfather had passed. Talking to my grandmother like, man, Granny, how did Granddaddy do it? How did he leave his full-time job? He had 3 children. He had you, and he had this, he had that. My grandmother, you know what she said? She said, I was working. I said, oh, Granny, talk to me. She said, I was working a full-time job for years so that your grandfather could leave that full-time job and go into pastoring. Look at the dopeness of it. So he left the full-time job. Look, man, she worked a full-time job. She carried everything. He ain't have no problem with it because they worked together to the point where the church was able to pay him to the point where she was able to quit her job. So now he is the person taking care of the bills, taking care of the family. And since I know my grandmother, she was always the person who, Glenn, give me some money. My grandfather would turn his back, give her the money, and she'd be like, this ain't enough. He'd turn his back and then give her some more. My grandfather bought a limousine literally because he wouldn't fly, so he would drive. He bought it so that the cars could have enough space for her hats. My grandfather bought my grandmother a car. She didn't even have a driver's license. He bought the car so that the grandchildren could drive her around. This was the grandfather that we knew, but she worked so that he could get to that point. So what I mean by that is they worked together. The couple said, this is what we have to do to make this work for us. And there was no ego of, I got to be making all the money, or you got to be bringing 50% to the table, or if he ain't paying all the bills. No, This is what we came together to do. This is what we did for different stages, and the stages worked out for the marriage. I'll say this, not jump off the preacher horse, okay?
Man,
it's a mission for the marriage. So a lot of people have a problem with the word submission. I'll say it. If I hit you, I ain't trying to miss you. A lot of women, let me look at the camera, dude, have a problem with the word submission. I know where you think I'm going, but you're not submitting to the man. You're submitting to the mission of the marriage.
Come on.
And the man is also submitting to the mission of the marriage. I got to say this in bite size. You can't go too long. But do you think that Michelle Obama would have ever been known on the platform that she's on right now if she had not submitted to the mission of the marriage? Michelle was super intelligent. Michelle had her own degree. Michelle went to an Ivy League college. Michelle did all these things. She took a back seat and pushed the mission of the Obama marriage, right? Put this man out to the forefront. She made that decision. Now she has a platform because of the decision that she made that she would have never had if she tried to launch out on her own. I believe they came together on a mission. Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott's King. They came together, Coretta Scott. They said, how can you marry a man who had death threats? How can you be married to a man who was gone all the time? How can you be married to, you know what she said? She said, I didn't marry a man, I married a mission. I said,
Podcast over.
So man, that's my 2 cents on it, man. I believe the two people come together for the mission of the marriage, for the mission of the family, and they do what's necessary, and they work what works for that family. I believe that.
Strong. D, I'm not sure you're able to follow
that.
that.
I was like, God, dog. I'm gonna start just answering before call. That's what I'm gonna do. All right.
But no, you got some valuable insights.
Listen,
I know your situation, bro,
Dude,
and we got to hear about that,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Man, I think so. Me and my wife are a little different. We met in college, so it was. I never had my own place before I met my wife. I went from moving from Alabama to I moved to Dallas, living with my aunt, to going to college. Meet my wife in college, and when we decided to get married, we had to actually live in her grandmother's guest house. And her people was like, you don't have your own spot, and I'm like, nope. Like I'm just trying to figure it out. But I think for me, my grandmother told me something one time. She was, and just to preface, my grandmother and grandfather was married 65 years before both of them passed away. 65 years, man. And my grandmother, she said, it's going to be some times where y'all going to have it all. Y'all going to be in love. And it's going to be some times where y'all hate each other guts. She said, but if you can endure all those times, she said, that's where the beauty of the story comes in, to where at the end of it all, you'll have something to sit down like she's talking to me and talk to your grandkids and give them some advice. So I took that as like, no matter what, no matter if we got money, no matter if we don't, like we always, to your point, we got to do it together. And that's what we always did from day one. Like we used to take our financial aid checks, put them together and say, look, we're going to pay all our bills up for the semester because we know we ain't getting another financial aid check until that January. And since then we just work like that, man. It's done been times in my marriage to where my wife has been frustrated with me on this entrepreneur journey and just like, look, I'm working, you doing your thing, you pay all the bills. And I'm like, man, I got to pay all the bills. And that don't mean like I'm paying it out of my pocket, but like literally having to sit down and go, all right, AT&T, Wells Fargo.
So y'all putting the money together.
We put it together.
But she's saying you pay the actual bills.
But I pay the actual bills. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for clarifying that, Lo. That could have got lost.
Yes. We put out, like we never did separate. Like, I don't believe in that. I believe if we committed, we committed. Even if we going to be not committed tomorrow, but today we committed. Your check go in the bank account, my check go in the bank account. You pull a little bit off for savings, I pull a little bit off for savings. We put a little bit in investments.
You the one go
and I go pay the bills.
Gotcha.
Right now in my current situation, I'm full-time entrepreneur. My wife has a full-time job. It's been times to where I have to lean on her job, but because we've been doing this for so long and I paid my dues, she don't make me feel less. I don't feel like less of a man because my wife at times is making more money than me. I'm like, great, like make even more. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand, to your point, like the mission is for me. This is my goal, right? I want to be 50 plus years sitting in the field, me and my wife sitting in a chair, and we looking out and I see my daughters and my sons and my grandkids and we can just look at each other and say, we did this. And we can only do that by working together. So everything we do it together. So all the 50-50, 100, man, I don't believe in it. I believe in what's yours is mine and what's mine is yours. We are married. We are family. Even for my kids, I tell them anything we have in this house is for the house.
Strong.
I don't believe in, I used to go to people's house when I was younger, right? And I'd be like, hey, man, can I get a little Kool-Aid out the refrigerator? And he like, nah, that's my dad Kool-Aid. And I'm like, that's only for daddy? Like, what about mama? Nah, mama can't have that. That's daddy drink. And it's like, what the? So I always say, man, I don't want to live like that. Like, I believe in real family, like coming together. So it's like, what you bring to the house is ours. What I bring to the house is ours. What my kids bring to the house is ours. Because at the end of the day, all we have is each other. And if I'm saying, hey, you need to pay 50 of this and I need to pay 50, then I'm dividing us. But if we say, let's do it together, ain't no 50-50. It's 100% of me and 100% of you at all times. Okay. Sometimes you may not like my 100%, but guess what? I'm giving you what I got, and you give me what you got, and we gonna work with it and we gonna make it work. So I don't believe in that 50-50. I'm just being honest. I believe in if you committed to me, I'm committed to you. we gonna work together to the end. And when we not working together, hey, if we gotta split it, then hey, now we'll split it 50-50,
Right.
but we're gonna bring it together and make 100 though every time.
Strong.
Yeah.
Okay, I got one more question. Well, again, I actually have like 10 more. But I'm gonna ask one more, but I'm gonna turn it into like a 2-part question. Then I promise I'm gonna go look at the what the audience is asking. So it's one. Okay, what you all said is great, phenomenal. I'm taking mental notes. I'm gonna rewatch this and like take down notes. You two collectively have 8 kids. It's one thing to all the stuff you all share, great. It is of my belief, once kids get into the picture, it's different. I went from 1 child for a long time to now 4, just like that. And I know it can be challenging. So with dealing with being an entrepreneur, we're talking about entrepreneurs here, the Co-Network. That's our target audience, right? If you're not an entrepreneur, you tune in, great, get some good stuff. When it comes to being an entrepreneur, the money isn't always there. You have good months, you have bad months, maybe sometimes more bad months than good months, right? While you're figuring out this person working, this person not working, and now you bring children into the picture. 5 in one home, Los?
Yeah, man.
By one woman.
All about one woman. They're going to judge me. Don't let them judge me on here. E.
You had 2 for a long time and just now, congratulations to your new addition.
Yeah.
Now, how do you lead your home with responsibilities while raising children? So like, how do you, we were talking, my last question, like traditionally speaking, the man, he makes the money, the wife is home raising the kids. That's like old stuff, right? Well, also you got these old things where the wife is home cooking, cleaning, doing all the stuff while the husband is out in the world. We don't really live into that world today. Who was just telling me? I was just talking to a guy. My wife would tell me. Forgot what guy we was talking to who said he cooks. I mean, he's the bomb cooking. Remember who said that? I don't remember. But you got men cooking now. You know, I know my home, like I'm the dishes guy, who's mopping the floor. Like, how do you all delegate responsibilities and like keep stress down? Especially if the money is not there. You out there trying to grind. So what does it look like when you coming home with the kids, with you and your wife? What does it look like far as laundry, dishes, cooking? Like, how do you maintain a sane home while you're out there trying to grind, right? I was going to ask you guys about raising children. Might not have time for that. That's part 2. But how do you keep a sane home with all these moving parts and with children and then not be like burnt out? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll say
for you and your wife.
Yeah,
so not just for you. Like, how do you make sure your wife is not being burnt out while she's carrying whatever burdens may be? Your business is not making the money it's supposed to make, and then you expecting her to mother the children and keep the like. How do you keep her burden light, and how do you contribute like all that? Hopefully, I'm asking this question right. Yeah.
I think for me, like I started out like, you gotta cook, you gotta clean, you gotta do this. And I'm seeing like stuff pile up, right? One of our biggest arguments used to be about laundry. Like, I hate doing laundry. My wife admitted to me in the beginning, I hate doing laundry, but I will always fuss about laundry, right? But for me, now, I just pay for that kind of stuff. I pay somebody to do my laundry so me and my wife don't have to argue about doing laundry. I pay somebody to come by and clean our house so I won't have to argue about my wife not cleaning. And what I noticed is over the year, like we just, like it works for us. Now we not arguing. Like I tell her, like, you remember we used to argue about folding clothes? Like we literally sitting up here arguing about a t-shirt. Nah, we not doing that no more. So for me, I just want to make sure that anything that she's feeling stressed about around the house, like now that I have the funds to do it, I'll just pay for it. But to your point, when I didn't have the funds,
talked about you got the money now to pay for it.
Yeah.
we had our housekeeper come in the other day and like fold all the clothes. We argued about clothes and clean up and stuff like that. But
when I didn't have the money, I just started to do little stuff myself.
Yeah.
I heard Eric Thomas say this one time. He was like, man, while I'm at home, I washing the dishes. And I'm a big Eric Thomas fan, man. I'm like, E.T. washing dishes? Like, E.T. folding clothes? He was like, yeah, man, I'm trying to get my clothes to smell like my wife's clothes, and I couldn't get it down, and I had to ask. And I'm like, dang, ET. So I'm gonna be honest, it wasn't nothing that me and my wife did. It was hearing another man say that he washed dishes and fold clothes.
That's big.
That motivated me to be like, you know what, I could just pick up the slack. Because
That's big.
this is what really motivated me to start doing this. At the end of the night, can I be real?
That's what it's
boom.
called. It's
Look,
production.
yeah,
Can I be
yeah.
real?
Let's go.
So-
Let's go.
At the end of the night, when I'm younger and I'm older now, I'm 40 and I got a 4-month-old baby, so it's still prevalent today, right? But it was times to where at the end of the night, I'm ready to get it in, and I hear I'm tired. And she say, and I'm like, what you mean you tired? She like, I had to go to work, I had to wash dishes, I had to do all this. And I'm like, dang, so if I fold them clothes, that would have saved a good little 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. So now when I hit her with, hey, look, baby, I got the clothes folded, the kids in the bed, you know,
Listen.
and I'm ready to go. So for me, it's like
Dude.
anything I can do to get that alone time at the end of the night, like I'm gonna make sure that we can get that alone time. So I was motivated by that. I'm gonna be honest by like, I don't want to hear I'm tired at the end of the night. Like, so if I gotta go wash these dishes to get some, I'm finna go wash these dishes so I can get some. You know what I mean? For real, because it's been
Dishes
times.
don't look that bad no
Nah, for real, because it was times where I was arguing about this stuff. The dishes not washed and this, and then I go to work. And then I'm complaining to another woman about what my wife not doing in our house, and she, if I was
That's a
your girl,
slippery slope right there.
I'll make sure everything
slippery
done. I'll make
slope.
sure all this. She lying.
Is she lying?
You know what I'm saying? She just want to get that. So I've been down that road too. So from there,
talk to
I
us.
realized like, man, look, I'm just gonna make sure I keep all this stuff at home. I'm gonna make sure I alleviate as much stress as possible, so you don't have no stress about cleaning and cooking and all this stuff. And at the end of the night, we gonna be good.
You gotta get to the bag and hire all that stuff.
But
out.
but I would tell people, man, get you some money so you can hire, because it's easier like
To outsource that out.
to outsource
Yeah,
it out,
yeah.
man. To
I'm
have
with
somebody come and fold all your clothes and wash all your dishes and
Yep.
clean your house, and your wife can sit back and be like, oh, you did this for me? Oh, baby. Like, she gonna return that favor for you. Well, if you got a good
I'm
wife,
about to
she's
say,
gonna return that favor to you
yeah.
every night.
Can I
Every day. I ain't gonna say
Los,
every
go
night.
away, 'cause I gotta go to the
get these
crowd.
questions,
Answer
man.
that. I gotta go to the
I'll
crowd.
give you a bullet, man, form. Now, I was talking about the 80-20 rule earlier, and this will tie into, because Deon, he pretty much summed a lot of it up. It's noticing what you have, like in your home. The 80-20 rule is you're never going to find 100% in your spouse. You're never going to find 100%. You're going to find 80% at best. But the 80-20 rule is most people, unfortunately, will leave 80% to go to 20. So like the person at the job, like somebody else on the side, because they don't have the 20. The 20 looks real attractive when you don't have it. Now, the problem is a lot of people leave that 80% only to find out she only 20%. And you get over here like, dang, I left that for this? Notice what you have. Like, Deon, to your example, you said your wife said she don't like folding clothes, but she do a whole bunch of other stuff. So you're going to leave that to go find a woman who can fold clothes, but can't do all the other stuff that your woman actually doing.
Thanks.
So if you got 80% at home, our focus as men, I'll speak specifically, is too much on the stuff that we don't have and not focusing on what you actually do have in your home. So if we paid attention to that and then work together, like Deon said, to fix these other parts, everything will be all right, man. 80-20 rule, man. Don't leave 80% to get over to 20% only to find out that it's only 20%.
That's
That's
a fact.
good. Question from the chat. Oh, wait, this is because how I know. Well, I know you guys. This is a sticky one.
Okay.
What do you say to people who are turned off from religion? What should they lean on? Ooh, we getting some
People who are turned off on religion, what should they lean on?
Mhm.
And I'm
Who should go first here?
It don't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Los. Go ahead.
And I know if we got to take another, so I won't belabor the point, but I'll say from me, I'm only speaking from me, not from everybody else. So people who are turned off from religion, are they speaking from relationship, like their spouse or?
I don't know, bro. That's just
So the
just take
people
it,
who are
that's all-
turned
that's all
off
I
from
got.
religion,
Yeah.
what do they lean on? For me, I've asked a lot of my friends, because I like statistics, but I also like real information. So I've asked friends of mine who are not believers, like, what do you lean on when your back is against the wall, when the floor is dropped out to the bottom? Where do you go? And the solution was, well, maybe I go here. I said, well, what about when that's not there? And a lot of them told me to my face, man, I probably just go crazy because they had nothing to lean on. If you don't have that, I don't know where you're going, because whatever else you're going to is not going to last or not going to be able to stand or not going to be able to uphold it. the best that I would do is be able to pray for somebody if they don't lean on it. For one, I would definitely say you don't force it on anybody. So if somebody does not believe in that, that's not something you force on anybody. You be a living example. I've often heard somebody say, or a really powerful slogan, preach the gospel often when necessary, use words.
Unpack that.
Preach the gospel often when necessary, use words. That means I don't need to say much about it if I'm living it. If I live this thing out, I ain't got to push it down your throat. My friends and people around me who know me, they know who I live for. I've had friends who've called me at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning saying, I don't believe in this guy, bro, but I see him working in your life.
Come on.
Can you tell me something about him? So I would say to the best of your ability, if the person who's asking is a believer, live it out. Be a living example yourself. Be a listening ear for them. Let them see God in your life. Because God ain't really showing up for you. I can't go too far and I can't chase the rabbit. God ain't showing up for me. I already believe. God's showing up for people around me to show them that I'm God. So they can say, man, I know E. I know what he's dealing with, but he's still standing. Let me see something about this God. So I wouldn't force it down their throat, man. The best of my ability, I would be a living proof. And again, I say, preach the gospel often. When necessary, use words.
Strong. Man. Can I be real?
Man.
I'm going to squeeze in one more question.
Shoot. I think for me, like, so I was, at one point in time, I was like heavy in the church for like 7, 8 years, man. I stepped away from religion, you know, and what helped me was like really tapping in to me, because even in the Bible, it says the kingdom is in you, right? So if God is in me, then I developed the understanding that why do I have to go outside to find God? And me, I just came on this journey to like, I started meditating. I just started sitting by myself. And that's when I really like started to really hear God for myself, because for me, I was just always just repeating what the pastor said. Oh, well, he said this and he said that and they said this. But when I really just started to just step away from that and like, how do I feel about this? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. God just really started revealing himself to me that way. I would tell him like, tap in. Like tap into who you are. Like question those things. Like, why are you even feeling like this religion not working or whatever? Because for me, I don't go to church, you know, but I feel like I'm the closest to God that I ever been because of this entrepreneur journey. Because now I'm praying in the morning because I have to pray, because I really need guidance. Before, when I was working on my job, I didn't need no guidance. I say I pray. I just wake up, God, thank you for waking me up, and I'm going about my day. But now I'm really praying. I'm seeking God for real because I don't have that cushion. So I say a lot of times, if we really remove all those comforts out of our lives and see like, where is our source really coming from, and really lean on that source, that's when you can really find like what's working for you. And for me, I don't subscribe to the whole religion, but I say I'm a spiritual person because I'm a believer of the Most High. I read my Bible, but I didn't get that through church. I got there from going through some stuff, sitting by myself, meditating, and really having a real understanding for who God is in my life. So
love it. Yeah. So read his Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. Mm-hmm. That's the book you buy 65, you get one free.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
One last question here. So Los, so I know a lot of questions, fellas, a lot of questions I'm asking is from a married standpoint, but for the single men, take these lessons, right? This is stuff you want to take in while you're single. Right, so don't get discouraged if you're single if I'm asking questions that pertain to marriage, because you want to know this as a single man. And that's what I did for years. Like, it took me a long time to get, like, I asked a million questions before I do this, and I'm still figuring it out, as you can see. Los, you said you almost made it 22 years, and you still said, you was the one that chose. Most marriages, the woman, she's the one that's opting for the divorce. Right. And you are the one who opted for it. You still said it's never the answer. And D, I know for sure in our relationship, we had some serious talks. We had some serious talks in Atlanta, right? We had some serious talks here in Dallas. I mean, to the point, I remember I had to pull over one time when you and I were talking. You was going through some really tough times and almost didn't make it. Mm-hmm. If you can give advice for the men out there who are struggling in their marriage, or even the guys who are doing good and perhaps may run into issues. not necessarily just one answer. If you could give me just what comes to mind on how you can prevent divorce. Like if you're going down a rough journey, like what are some strategies, some tips, some actual practical stuff? We get into philosophy, which is great, but there are some actual practical things you can do, practical steps you can take to actually prevent divorce.
You want me to jump in there, D?
Yeah.
For one, I would definitely say stay away from uncommunicated expectations.
Whoa, say that again?
Stay away from uncommunicated expectations.
Stay away from
A lot of times in marriage, people are expecting something from their spouse that you never even communicated. Right? You think that they're going to do something or they should be doing something because of your situation. Deon said earlier, study the fruit, right? Study where that person came from. And they may have came from you may marry somebody in the same culture who grew up in a different city or a different state. They've gone through something different. So sometimes you're expecting something that you haven't communicated. And the person just may not know because they've been raised a different way. You got to communicate things to your spouse. You got to communicate things to your person, even if it's beyond obvious that the person knows. Make sure that you're communicating. One thing that I would practice while I was actually in my marriage is that when you're speaking to somebody, if I'm saying something to that person and they don't feel like it's been said the right way, it doesn't matter how I said it. It don't matter. Yeah, but I ain't mean that. It don't matter. They received it a certain way, so I need to adjust it. If I receive it a certain way and I'm like, that offended me or that hit me this way, that hit me that way, and this is your spouse, and you standing 10 tones out on, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't say, it don't matter. What matters is the way that your person received it. So you got to do some work on actually changing the way that you're saying it so they can receive it in the proper way. Communication is so big in relationships, man. And a lot of people miss that. But communication can also help in a lot of ways if you sit down. I'll say two things, bite size, in that same space. Men talk. A lot of men don't talk. Men, open your mouth and communicate and have a conversation with your woman. A lot of times, no. Give me the money later, Tosh. No. Open up and talk and have a conversation with your woman so that she can know what's going on with you. Don't just keep everything closed in all the time because you're afraid to talk or because another woman hurt you or because nobody else is listening to you. This person will if you give them a chance. Other side for the women, if I hit you, I ain't trying to miss you. If that man brings something up, babe, I don't like it when you do this. Well, you always do this. We ain't talking about that. We talking about what I'm talking about right now. And I took the opportunity to bring my conversation. If I'm bringing something to you as my woman and I end the conversation with something I got to fix, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Men speak up. Women, please, if your man is speaking up, take the time to internalize what he's saying and give him the room to actually speak up. And I would say men do the same, but I know we're speaking to some of our men.
That's good.
Man, I think for me, just fix you first. A lot of issues that I went through in my marriage because I wasn't fixed. Like I was just dealing with some things that I never just dealt with before. Like I messed up in my marriage like we talked about before because I never like addressed that issue. Like I was always used to, oh, I got an issue with you. I'm just going to go to another one. You know what I mean? And that cycle just continued to happen. But if I would have fixed that from the beginning, I would have never went through a lot of that stuff. So for me, like you said, communication and then fix you. And I'm still fixing me now. It's stuff that I'm working on now, but it's like instead of looking at my wife and trying to fix her because that was my issue a lot. Like, you ain't do this. You need to do this. And it's like, nah, you do it then. So it's like, go back to the clothes. I want the clothes clean. These both of our clothes. Why can't I just go in there and clean them? That's me fixing me. So instead of me, like you said, those expectations, I don't put them on my wife anymore. It's like what I can do, I do it. Yeah. And what you can do, I appreciate you for what you do. And anything outside of that, we got to communicate and talk about it. And for me, a long time, I would tell my wife stuff like that. Like, baby, I feel like this. And she wouldn't hear me. And instead of me saying, listen, you're not hearing what I'm saying, I would get upset and I just shut completely down.
That's what men do.
But we can't do that. Like you have to continue talking and say, hey, listen, I know that yesterday we had an argument, it went left, but this is what I was really trying to say. And the more you do that, the more that lines of communication will be open. And then now you got to sit back and listen too, because it's a two-way street. You know, a lot of times we just want to say our feelings and then want to shut it off, but we got to say our feelings and we got to listen to, and then internalize it, and then we got to make a change. It's one thing to have a conversation, but if you walk away doing the same thing, it's like you might as well not even talk about it. So It's like, fix you first, and that's the philosophy I live by. I want to fix me first before I complain about anything my wife does. I'm fixing me first, man. Yeah.
Man, y'all gave it away. We're coming to an end. Like, I really wish I could do this for 2 more hours.
This is good.
I always heard it put this way. You can learn from 2 things: mistakes and mentors. Right? Mistakes and mentors. And so many men want to be successful in life. They want to be great husbands, great entrepreneurs, great fathers, and of course, you can learn from mistakes. I take it a step further. Learn from your mentor's mistakes.
That's great.
Right?
Yeah.
And so many mentors out there have put great information into a book, and we don't read it. Right? They said if you want to hide your money from, I'm saying it wrong, hide your money from, especially our people. I'm talking about our Black and brown community. You want to make sure a thief don't take your money, put it in the books. He won't look there. Right? And you two, as we all can tell, men with a wealth of knowledge. I see right now that you both got some books that you authored. Can we just really quick tell our audience what we got going on here? I see some books right here. I see a book over there. Y'all to put all this knowledge into a book.
Yes, sir.
Where can people get these books? What is the book about? And we'll conclude.
So, man, look, my book, y'all check it out. Transform Your Life. This book is just basically a guide. Take all my experiences from moving from Alabama to Dallas to get married. And I kind of just summed it up in a book, but it really just breaks down like the neuroscience about getting and staying motivated to actually make a change for your life. Like, it kind of get in some of like the psychology behind why we stay stuck. And this book just kind of break it down for you. And if y'all interested in it, go on Amazon, type in Deon Hardamon, Transform Your Life, pick it up.
That's it. This 2 of the 4 book series, man. So I have a Flip the Switch series. These are my last 2 books I actually wrote. They're all Flip the Switch. This one's actually in the fitness space, and this one's actually in the fitness space for men specifically, because I am called to men specifically. But Flip the Switch. If you turn the lights off in any room that you're actually in, the electricity doesn't leave the room. The electricity is still present. Just the switch needs to be flipped so you can activate what's already there. That's Flip the Switch in a nutshell. Everything you're looking for is already there, but these books show you how to activate what's already present.
I don't think it get any better than Carlos V.
Don't
Spencer.
miss the V.
Can't leave
Don't
the V out.
disrespect my name.
Deon, the motivator.
The motivator.
The motivator. Thank you all so much for joining us here with the Code Network. Empowering men. I think we empower women as well. So we got to have you all back next year. But up next, we didn't have the fellas. We got the ladies. We got the ladies in a few minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 hour. My apologies. Fellas, that's why you got to have a good wife. Right?
Look, you just said it. That's it.
Have a good wife. My wife has just stepped into the room. So not in a few minutes, in an hour. Stick around. Fellas, grab your ladies, grab your wife. And ladies, grab your man, grab your boo thing, and have them plug in. We have some powerful, powerful women. Oh my gosh. These are some most powerful ladies I personally know here in Dallas. You're going to hear some incredible concepts, and we're going to really empower the ladies out there to live at the next level from our ladies panel. All right. See you in a bit.